Welcome to the Producer Mindset. You're looking for a real estate and business podcast that is raw, unfiltered, and authentic. A podcast that gives you insight into the growth strategies of industry titans. Well, here it is. Get ready for an amazing ride as your hosts Josh 𝘗𝘳𝘥𝘴𝘦𝘵 and Michael Rivero talk weekly with special guests about the most important topics in the industry today. And now, here are your hosts, Josh 𝘗𝘗𝘥𝘴 and Michael Rivero. Let's be top producers.
It's been 1 year since we said we would launch the producer mindset. It's also been 1 year since we've been in business, so this is kind of like the perfect start date.
June 1st.
Yeah.
Happy 1 year. That's
I know. Happy 1 year, man. So, damn, it's been 1 year. That's awesome.
That's good stuff, and we're still going.
Yeah, not even a pandemic could take us out. Yeah. So, man, but let's go ahead and talk a little bit about, TopShotPro as a whole, what our journey has been, what we've been through, some of the things that we've learned as a whole. I think it's we have 1 year's traction of a whole lot of work that we've done, a whole lot of learning, particularly in real estate marketing that we have learned, that we have acquired new skill sets, new capabilities. But at the same time, I think that, part of what has helped us be so unique coming into this space, into real estate marketing in general, and building out this awesome branding and marketing agency that TopShotPro is becoming. I mean, it all stems from somewhere, right? It all starts, I think, with the mindset, the mentality, and just the overall heart that's behind it. So,
yeah, I mean, and the whole premise of this podcast, this being like the first episode, introducing, making sure we have a clear vision of what this podcast is supposed to be about up front is important. And the reason why we call it the producer mindset is because, we're going to be hopping on this podcast with a number of different, high level entrepreneurs as far, within the real estate industry, right? So they're top producing agents, top producing brokerages, brokerage owners, and really entrepreneurs in general, to really just pick them apart and see exactly how they've grown to their success.
You sound like a surgeon. We're going to pick them apart.
Well, yeah,
man. As a whole, I think for the producer mindset, the goal is really to bring in a community of individuals, of high-level individuals who are already killing it in their, whether it be in the real estate industry or just in life. I think it's so important to constantly surround yourself by people that can elevate your game. And if, like many of us, didn't have kind of that upbringing or up and coming of knowing exactly where to look and how to align yourself with these kind of individuals, will have a good opportunity of seeing what growing up was like for them and, how they ended up being in the position that they're in. But really producers of, industry change and industry leadership, I think the producer mindset, that's what it's all about. So Josh, let's go ahead and start with you, man. This is the first episode. We're going to be releasing this here probably in the next couple of days across all available platforms.
Yep.
So can you tell people in general, in your way, in your own words, exactly what Josh's journey to real estate marketing and marketing in general has been like? How did it all begin?
So starting from age 0, my parents were my entire family has always been in real estate to some capacity. My dad's a broker, mortgage broker. My mom's an interior designer. My aunt's a real estate agent. My uncle's a loan officer. My great uncle's a developer. And everyone is kind of, within home services or real estate to, some extent. And
Right.
I always knew that I wanted to, go into some sort of real estate job, right? Just based off of the success that I've seen within real estate. But in 2008, when the whole market crashed, I, lots of people were impacted directly because of something that they couldn't really control. And so one, I saw success within real estate and wanted to enter into the real estate industry in some aspect. And then number two, I saw the crash and how an economy can, decide how somebody lives pretty much, right? It affects them directly in what they're doing. So I didn't want to have something to where I went down to $0 in my bank account and, had to start fresh, right? I didn't want some external happening to affect my income or affect, a business, right? And marketing is the one thing that everybody needs all the time, right? It's how you get people to raise their hand for, their business. But really, I didn't want to have the economic, ramifications. I didn't want anything to affect what I was doing.
That was pretty young for you to realize that.
Yeah, it was. Yeah. And I've been thinking about that. I was like, that's pretty,
that's like really well thought out for you to be like, oh crap. Like, yeah, I definitely don't want to be in that industry where, things can shift at the touch of a button almost.
Yeah. And I remember having that thought when I was younger, and that's pre me deciding I liked marketing. I always understood that, it's a really good tool to have, marketing. And, I found interest in marketing. I'd say when I started to sell sneakers, like you did it at a bigger scale, but I, was like, oh, you can actually make money just doing something, just doing something on the side. And, then marketing amplifies that or multiplies it. And when I'd say August of 2019, I started getting into, or August of 2018, I started getting into marketing and, went deep into studying Claude Hopkins and, different industry leaders with marketing, or people that really started marketing in general, right? I read Dean Jackson's book, The Breakthrough Blueprint, did the 50 episodes of I Love Marketing, read My Life in Advertising, Robert Collier's the letters and the Collier letters. I forget what it's called, but Robert Collier wrote the book.
Okay.
And so I started off there and then just kind of evolved into meeting you at the local marketing firm that we worked at, and then, or the local digital marketing firm that we worked at. And then August of, that was August 2018 where I started my internship there. December of 2018, I left school. I was going to community college at the time. So I left school and got offered full time at this marketing agency.
Yeah.
Then, time passed and I put my 2 weeks in. I was still an intern. I had a bunch of clients that I had taken over from you when you left. And June 1st of 2019 is when we started TopShotPro, and we decided to go into real estate for a number of different reasons. You have your reasoning. Personally, the reason why I chose real estate was, one, because of the success I saw with it.
Like your family's background.
And then, I have a network of individuals that are within real estate that it just seemed like the smartest thing to do at the time, to choose that one target market.
Yeah.
Users in real estate. So
that's awesome, man. And what about marketing kind of stood out the most to you in general? I mean, like, you've read all these books, definitely follow like people like Dean Jackson, Joe Polish, we look into Ogilvy all the time. People, that literally see this as an art form almost.
Yeah.
Like, what is it that attracted you to marketing in general, besides the thought of, like, was there like one specific piece? Like, did you read an advertisement of some sort and you were like, oh shit, this is kind of cool? Or was it like, you know what, like I see how much I can amplify something just by marketing myself or marketing in general? Like, what was that?
Yeah. I feel like it's a number of different things. It's funny. I was a big believer early on. Like, I understand that cold calling is very important, and in order to become a good salesperson and being able to think on your feet and navigate conversations in a way to where you're persuading somebody to make a buying decision. But
Right.
I was a big proponent of marketing because I don't want to spend the time, just randomly calling people. I'd rather set something up that's a machine for me that makes a more qualified lead, I guess. So I just I like the idea that it sped up the process, the sales process. But it kind of serves it up on a plate for you of leads or qualified leads to, then make the sale or cold call them. Or it's not a cold call then, it's more of a, it's a warm call. But I guess it's from me not wanting to, from a very high level, me not wanting to spend the time going out and talking to people, I guess, which is funny. But I don't know. I always saw that as not a waste of time, but something that could be not automated, but it could partially.
I mean, it definitely speeds up the process. It's like, why would you make 100 phone calls when you could touch 1,000 people?
Yeah, like why? Yeah, like why not have the phone call later?
So then, what are your thoughts on? Since this is the producer mindset, so what are your thoughts then on someone like 𝘗𝘳𝘥𝘥𝘦𝘵, who's all about the cold calls?
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure it's definitely important, but he's not just doing cold calls. He's doing the influencer promotions, he's doing social media marketing, he's running advertisements that are engaging, and he's building up a network of people that he wouldn't be able to do without the other things that he's doing. He's setting things up for himself so that he can cold call, because that works. Like prospecting, we have a new client that's coming on soon, and she's been a realtor for 15 years in Maryland, and she has her set time from 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. or 10 a.m. to 12:30, whatever it is, of just prospecting and cold calling people. So there's definitely, that's a good method. But I mean, personally, I don't have any experience prospecting for 3 hours, just cold calling, right? I've sent DMs. I feel like there's a better way of cold calling now. I feel like if you can reach somebody where they're like online, the way that we grew Top Shot Pro was through Instagram DMs and LinkedIn messages. We didn't call a single person and make a sale. We sent them a video, they reached back out, we had a conversation, we jump on a Zoom call, then we close.
Yeah.
It wasn't, we have a list of people, I'm cold calling them. Maybe for the marketing hub for some part of that, but for the real estate side of things, that's how we did it. I don't see how that's,
So how would you recommend then to take that kind of a model to a real estate agent who's like extremely busy, has to do the prospecting, but they also have to do the showings and all of these things?
Yeah. So the best part about it is, and this is a big part of what we're doing and how we're successfully growing our business, is we're whoing up our business. And that's what Dean Jackson and, Dean and Joe and Dan Sullivan always talk about, is it's who, not how. And, he could go into the whole,
we can go into that deeper.
how, but pretty much the gist of it, right, for people that don't know who, not how, is you're asking instead of how to do something yourself as a business owner who wears a lot of hats in general already, instead of asking yourself how to do this certain part of my business, like the books or, sending out invoices or taking care of scheduling or, in our circumstance, shooting video content or editing the video content or posting for people on social media. These are all different things that we can ask who instead of how. So we identify somebody that their unique ability is within that certain thing, and they're going to be doing it 10 times better than we will. So if I shoot a video and try to edit it myself, it may take me 12 hours. But if I have somebody else shoot the video and have somebody else edit it for me, and I'm simply facilitating that process, then that's hours and stress and time saved from me doing those activities when I can focus on furthering the relationship with whoever I'm filming the video with, or looking for, doing something else, right? That's going to move the business forward, move the relationships within the business forward, and, just not spending time on activities that I'm not good at.
That's good. That's really good. Yeah. And that's so true though, because a lot of the people that we do meet tend to wear one too many hats. I always say they wear about 88 hats in their real estate business. And then they wonder exactly why certain things are not advancing, Recently we had somewhat of a back-end testimonial, which was, I'm doing so many deals now because I don't have to pay attention to things like the social media marketing and all of that stuff, the advertising, the video content, all of that stuff. So that's always fun to see. But in general, though, I think, as a whole, a year into the business, we've definitely learned and grown quite a bit within this industry. We've gotten the chance to see the pain points that a lot of these agents, a lot of top producing agents and even brokerages go through when it comes to social media. They see it more so in a lot of ways as a lead generation funnel, when it's more so a top of mind funnel that drives people onto every single other aspect of their business. Now, let me ask you something, because I really want to get back to you here a little bit. So you watched what happened in 2008. You didn't like it. You don't want to be a part of it. Family, all real estate.
I want to be on the benefiting side of it, like we
What's
are.
Up?
I said I want to be on the benefiting side of it.
Yeah. So you've gone through all of that, right? You've seen it firsthand with your family. I'm pretty sure you guys were impacted in 08, 09. Why was the decision made? Obviously, okay, like now we get it, as we just talked about it, like there's marketing and everything, but is there a specific reason that held you back from either becoming an agent or an LO when the opportunity is literally right there?
Yeah, I mean, even though you have your own business, I mean, being an LO or being a real estate agent, that's still directly having direct impact from the market. As far as why, there's a piece of it. And then there's the fact that I want to not necessarily be under somebody else's control. That, and really, I'd rather be the one that's helping them either get more listings or sell more listings. And, that's something that isn't necessarily going to be the running to the listing appointments, talking to people, doing all of the, open houses, the brokers opens, I don't want to do that. I want to do marketing. I like helping other people. That's where I find I get my most energy from, is jumping on calls with people and, picking their business apart and then giving solutions to their business right off the gate. I think it's like a video game. It's really fun. It gives me energy and I can do it for hours. Yeah. So, I mean.
And in terms of,
if I were to be a realtor, I would have that approach to it. It wouldn't be, I would take the ghost realtor approach where it's just the marketing and I have somebody else as a figurehead doing the sales or doing the actual listing appointments and stuff. Because you can make a great living off of building a real estate business. But, and that's what we're trying to do eventually, but you know.
We'll get there when we get there.
Yeah.
And, so now we have like a good understanding of the real estate, the marketing. How did those two come together for you from a personal level?
Yeah, so we talked about a few different things. The fact that I didn't want to be impacted by the economy with my business, and I saw success within real estate, and then social media is a really powerful tool that can be a big driver for lots of business for people, or the top of mind, being able to have the top of mind awareness. It's a great way to go about doing that. And thirdly, so back in 2015, my best friend passed away in his sleep. His name's Matt. And then the weeks following after that, or really a week or so following after that, it was in February. So there's a snowstorm. So we had time off from school because of his death, but also there was snow. So we really just, as a community, friends and family of Matt, for probably a week or so after, we just hung out together every day, and really reminisced on his life, and talked about different stories and positive stories about him. And it's crazy, and that's really when I realized the impact that one person could have on a community, and how powerful community is. And I didn't have that realization right away, but reflecting on that moment, it was very, very, prominent, right?
Yeah, like it was very telling of like, okay.
Yeah.
Well,
so because of that, seeing the importance of, building relationships and building community, I now have a unique opportunity to help realtors, and really anybody, but just who we've identified as our target, realtors, build their online communities and build meaningful relationships within those communities, right? It's all about starting online, reaching one to many, and ultimately, depending on whatever you do with those, or with your community, or with your relationships within your online community, those online relationships can be transitioned to offline relationships and ultimately help you make money, and really strengthen your sphere of influence online and off. So that's really the way that I see, my past in growing up in real estate family, and having the drive to do marketing, and then the event with Matt. All of those together have kind of set myself on a path of really becoming the ultimate real estate marketing solution, and the most powerful real estate marketing entity ever. So
that's cool, man. That's really, really cool. Yeah. And I mean, I definitely saw that and experienced that when there was the event for Matt. What's it called?
The MVP Memorial Golf Tournament.
Yep. So when the MVP Memorial Golf Tournament happened, there was like 75 people there, if not more. And it speaks to community. So when thinking from a real estate agent's perspective, right, I think they don't have to go through something, let's say, this traumatic to realize that they have a sphere of influence that they should be affecting in a positive way. And more than anything, realizing that their business is entirely based around community, entirely based around farming. Just to give you guys a buzzword on the real estate side, but Yeah, it's entirely built around that. So I think that social media, like you said, it gives them the opportunity to have that one-to-many approach, but still make it feel very one-to-one when you actually look to take those relationships from an online platform to an offline direct relationship. We all have 100% open rates on our text messages. So
Yep.
definitely. But I think this was a good start, man. That kind of wraps up 20 plus minutes or less of the first episode of the podcast, the Producer Mindset podcast. It's been fun. But let's go ahead and tell people exactly where they can find you at. So give us exactly where they can find you at.
So you can find me on Instagram at 𝘗𝘳𝘥𝘴𝘦𝘵 with 2 H's. 𝘗𝘳𝘳𝘥𝘴𝘦𝘵.
Perfect.
703-344-4739.
Say that one more time.
No.
Okay. All right, man. Well, we'll go ahead and talk soon. We got a lot of work to get done. And then we'll record episode number 2 here shortly. I'm really excited for what's to come on the podcast, honestly. We're going to be giving away a lot of like modern day branding versus old school branding styles, techniques that still work to this day. And I can't wait for people to really see like the collaborations that we have coming up.
Excited.
So
there's going to be a pretty thick lineup on the Producer Mindset. We have a number of different individuals within the real estate industry that not only we work with, but that we collaborate with on certain projects. So it's exciting.
So that'll be huge. So stay tuned, guys. Thank you so much for tuning in, listening. This is the first episode, and we'll talk to you guys later.
That's it for this episode of The Producer Mindset, but be sure to subscribe for more business tactics, marketing strategies, social media tips, and more to help you create a more profitable online presence as a top producer in your industry. Don't forget to rate and review so we can continue to bring you the best content and the most insightful guests. Thank you for listening.